semua, hari ini saya akan berkongsi tentang cara mendaftar e-pembelajaran Reading Seed dan langkah menyertai modul pembelajaran. Untuk langkah pertama, buka enjin carian seperti Google dan type Open Learning Reading Seed. Kemudian, klik pada pautan paling atas. Selepas itu, klik pada butang Join Now. Untuk langkah kedua, di sini anda akan diberi pilihan sama ada menggunakan Microsoft, Facebook atau akaun email. Tapi sebaiknya saya sarankan anda untuk menggunakan akaun email. Langkah ketiga, anda diminta untuk mengisi butiran lengkap sebelum memulakan modul pembelajaran. Pembelajaran ini mengandungi 12 modul. Setiap modul haruslah dilengkapkan dan anda juga harus membuka setiap audio yang disertakan dalam modul. Selepas habis setiap modul, anda dikehendaki untuk memberi komen. Untuk langkah keempat, setelah selesai semua modul e-pembelajaran, anda dikehendaki untuk mengisi maklumat penilaian. Akhir sekali, anda akan memperolehi e-sijil setelah selesai semua modul e-pembelajaran.
A very good afternoon, everyone.
Recording in progress.
Welcome to today's webinar on achieving your financial goals. On behalf of AKPK, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Institute of Management Sarawak for making this webinar possible and for giving us the opportunity to share our knowledge on personal financial management with today's audience. For those who may not be familiar with AKPK, please allow me to give a very brief introduction about AKPK. AKPK stands for Agency Counselling dan Pengurusan Kredit, which was established by Bank Negara Malaysia in 2006 to empower households and SMEs by providing financial education, financial advisory, and debt management services to create a financially resilient society. Our vision is therefore to be a trusted and leading authority in financial wellness. The three main services offered by AKPK to households and SMEs are financial advisory, debt management program, and financial education. For more information on AKPK, please check out our website www.akpk.org.my. By the way, I have not introduced myself. My name is Margaret Nicol. I'm the moderator for today's webinar, and I am the branch head of AKPK Kuching branch. Now, AKPK promotes prudent financial management as a way of life for all Malaysians. Wise and smart management of finances is a critical success factor in ensuring the financial health and well-being of every individual. For those still in their tertiary studies, this is a good time to start planning for a secure financial future. Our statistics show that the top reason why people get themselves into financial problems is poor or lack of financial planning. Setting financial goals is a cornerstone of financial planning. Hence today's topic, achieving your financial goals. If you want to take control of your money, boost your financial health, and create more financial security, you need to set some financial goals. Today's webinar will give you the tools you can use to achieve your financial goals. Our speaker today, Mr. Yeo Wee Kiat, has 15 years of experience in credit, counseling, and financial advisory. He is a registered financial planner licensed by the Malaysian Financial Planning Council, MFPC, and is currently the Deputy Manager of AKPK Kuching. With his wealth of experience and knowledge, I'm sure his sharing today will be of great benefit to everyone. We will allocate time at the end of the presentation for Q&A. So please feel free to type in your questions in the chat room. Without further ado, let me now invite Mr. Yeo to begin the session. Over to you, Mr. Yeo. Thank you. We cannot hear you, Yeo. Are you muted?
Can you hear me, Margaret?
Oh, yes, now I can hear you.
Okay. Once again, good afternoon and salam sejahtera to all of you, my dear students from URTM and also UNIMAS. It's a good afternoon that we meet here through online platform and with the topic that we are going to discuss on financial management. Especially for you, I believe you are looking for a module that is more interesting instead of learning of these topics on financials. I'm sure our modules that has specially that arranged for you would what we can give you some awareness and as well as some tips in managing or achieving your financial goals. Okay. I just need a bit of time to upload my document, my slide. Okay, I hope you can see my slide. Today we have about 1 hour to go through this topic, and I'm very delighted to share this topic with you. And I hope you will gain some knowledge from this topic that we especially make it for you with the title of Reach the Star for the Stars, okay, and achieving your financial goals. I'm sure in your life you have many goals to achieve, and what we meant today is here, it's more to your financial goal, achieving your one of the most important goal in your life, okay. And a little bit of myself. Okay, as you can see, my daily tasks and worked more on giving talks and also financials counseling, where our clients seek AKPK for assistance in managing their debts and also finances. Okay, and that is why our modules are different in terms of the contents, where we are actually taking people's real life experience and also what they have gone through okay, when they are managing their debts and also their loans, okay. So we make it more kind of like a learning experience for you as a guideline and also as guidance where you can actually to be better from when you are managing your debts, okay, or managing your finances, okay. And I believe some of you may heard about AKPK before, where the agency is actually helping those indebtedness and also those who need financial assistance. So today the topics will be more to telling you the story, and also from the beginning, the story that we're going to share with you, there should be some degree of what you call good experience and as well as awareness of there. Okay, and we're going to cover 4 topics today. In as per the agendas, you can see we will be discuss more on cash flow, borrowing, and also investment, and of course more to debt management. Okay, so these are the 4 main elements in financial planning as in a KPK context. Okay, and particularly in the cash flow management, this is kind of the basic principle that you must master it, okay, in order for you to move on, especially when you want to get loans, when you want to what do you call, pay back the loans that you have taken, and also to build up your wealth, as well as to achieve your financial goal. That is the topic of today. And firstly, I would like to know, do you have something that we call financial goal? Okay, it could be something that very simple. It's just like achieving the goal that you have been what call eyeing for. Yeah, things like what you want to achieve in terms of your finances. Okay, let it make it more simple for you. All right. If you are in a case of giving 1 million, as you can see in this picture. All right. If you are given 1 million ringgit, what would you do with it? Okay. So this is what I call a 1 million questions. It's just like you are having a what you call windfall, durian runtuh. So when you get the money, what should you do? And what are you going to do with it? Are you going to use the money to buy the things that you has been dreaming of? Okay, you has been aiming for. Okay, or are you going to make it into an investment so that the money will grow bigger, or to create a better wealth in future? So this is what we call financial planning, because we don't. Everyone has their planning, yeah, in terms of their finances. Okay, depend on what they do they want to achieve in their life. And also we do what they call different in terms of our financial planning, because of our risk level. Yeah, the acceptance of the risk in both. Yeah, some people might say, I might use the money to clear off my debt because I don't want to have any debt anymore. So this could be a financial planning for someone who are actually trying to avoid debts, yeah, or liability. But there might be another person. He was thinking, since I have the money, why don't I can just invest or start up my business so that my money will grow, yeah, and I'm looking for what you call future better income, yeah. So you might have a different set of planning, but what we want you to do to understand financial planning as in the context that we are referring here. If you can see this technical explanations of financial planning, okay, it's a long-term process of achieving your financial goal through proper and wise management of your finances. Meaning to say, you need to achieve the life goal using proper and wise management of your finances. Okay, so there must be some mechanism that you are trying to use in order to maximize the money that you accumulating, yeah, and eventually the goal of your finances will be achieved. Okay, so there must be a specific reason why you need to manage your finances, and the reason could be something that would say a guideline or guidance for us to what do you call in our life. Yeah, so if you want to make it more easier to understand, financial planning is actually a roadmap to your life goals. Okay, and also it brings protection on your money. Okay, financial protection, and also it brings freedom to you in terms of your finances. Yeah, that is what you want to. Most of us want to achieve financial freedom. Okay, and that's what we always say. If you didn't plan your finances, you are actually planning to fail. Yeah, so we, as well as in financial planning, we encourage you to do the plan so that you can achieve or make your what you call your dream a reality. Okay, if we want to put it financial planning into a more technical explanation, so this is the road that I've actually drawn up for you. Okay, call it a financial plan. Okay, the goal is to accumulate your asset so that your future asset would be bigger or more. Okay, why do you need to have a bigger asset in future? And the future asset would be something to call as your fund for retirement. So you need to accumulate, because when you go older, of course, you might not be able to work as like before. Okay, so you need to have some sort of like income, yeah, which that income will help you to go through your retirement. All right. So the current assets that you are trying to build up, okay, are actually from the cash flow analysis that you have made from your daily expenses. Yeah, start from your income. All right, where you actually manage your income well. Okay, allocate them for your expenses, because you cannot run away from the expenses. You need money for your basic necessity, like for your food, you need to pay for your bills, you need to pay for your important cost of living. All right. Through cash flow management, then accumulate your assets. Because what we say, from the or from the analysis on your cash flow, you'll be able to generate surplus. So with the surplus that you got, then your asset can be built up, okay, slowly, and of course bigger. But when you turn your excess or your surplus into a saving, or you accumulating your asset, you need a make investment. Okay, that's where your financial planning continue. Yeah, where after you know your source of income, you know what is the commitment that you have to pay. Okay, you arrange the cash flow that you have, then you start to accumulating, or you start do your saving, and from the saving you move on to your investment. Okay, where you do your investment planning. Okay, according to what we have suggested here, and eventually you also need to protect your asset. Okay, and also your finances. Okay, for all the risks that might be coming through in your life. Yeah, the risk that we are saying here is on something to do with the money. Yeah. Okay, and eventually, all right, you need to plan ahead with wealth preservation and distribution as well. Yeah, of course, this is the highlight here would be more on cash flow analysis, investment, and also the risk planning. Okay, and today our highlight will be more on the first topic will be on cash flow management. Okay, so when you talk about cash flow management, you are actually making sense of your expenses, yeah, or your money. All right. When you receive your income, okay, firstly you would need to know, okay, how often you will receive the income, okay, and is the income stable, okay, and how much you'll be getting, when are you getting the income, all right. So this is there is a two categories of income that we are talking about here, okay. There is active income and your passive income, all right. Active income, it's the income that you are receiving on regular basis, okay. Particularly it will come at a fixed time, all right. Usually it's like when you're receiving your salary, yeah, when you receive your gaji lah, yeah, end of the month, okay. As long as you have actually given your productivity and you will receive your money income. And usually this active income is a fixed income, yeah, where you receive a certain amount that you already know, all right. And the most important, it will come on a specific time, yeah, like end of the month or beginning of the month, okay. So usually we will treat our active income as the what they call affordability that for us to spend, okay, because you know that income will come in and how much you will be getting. So you can actually plan ahead, okay, using the active income for things like your cost of living, okay. And number two, it can be to serve your loan, to pay your loans, okay. So usually we need to know how much our active income, and we can decide how much we can pay for, especially loans, okay. And passive income, this is another category of our source of income, okay. And the example of passive income could be where you are actually managing your assets, okay. Investment, all right, you have some investment that you made before, so the return of the investment, and also through managing of your assets, like your properties, okay. Maybe you can rent it out, okay. So the rental that you receive from the tenants are actually your passive income, okay. Passive income, the difference from this income to active income is it doesn't come on a fixed time, yeah. It doesn't come in a fixed amount as well, all right. Sometimes it can be more, sometimes it can be less, okay. Like investment, it has to depend on how good the investment doing, yeah. So if the market is good, so the return of your investment might be good, okay. But when the market is affected, yeah, okay, your this return from this passive income could be affected as well, okay. So usually we don't encourage you to treat your passive income as a regular income, all right, because of the fact that passive income could be sometimes it doesn't come on time, all right. So if you are expecting passive income, okay, we will usually encourage passive income to be kept, or you save it for your future usage. Things like you keep your passive income as the retirement planning. This is the way that we treat our passive income. Yeah, you use the money only when you have actually invested in something, okay, or when the fund is enough, yeah, for your usage. Yeah. Let me give you one example. If let's say you are receiving an active income, yeah, at the same time you're expecting passive income, okay. So if you assume both income will come every month, yeah, you assume you have your gaji masuk active income, at the same time you're expecting maybe I have some other rental income especially, okay. So you are actually total up your total income and you treat that as your monthly income. Eventually you might actually spend based on your money income, and that actually bring up a habit of you assume all your income, which including your passive income, that will make you more I would call spend more, okay. And the problem will come when you fail to receive your passive income, and where eventually you cannot actually manage your habit of spending, because previously you has been relying on your active and passive income, okay. So try to make it a habit, yeah. If the passive income that you're receiving, you should actually keep it for your future usage, Okay, and let's look at the next components in our cash flow, which is expenses. Okay, we do have three types of expenses, which is in our cash flow: fixed expenses, variable expenses, and also discretionary expenses. So, of course, the list come from the first fixed expenses, which is the most important, and you are supposed to keep the money flow to fixed expenses because they are the most important type of expenses. Usually you cannot actually run away from it because there is actually agreement that's come with it. For example, your car loan and your housing loan, you're supposed to make your monthly car loans on a fixed date and a fixed amount. Yeah, so that's why it comes very important, or the what do you call, priorities will be on your fixed expenses. Okay, the second one, of course, is the variable expenses, more to your cost of living. Okay, and lastly, where if you want a better life, you can actually throw some of your money go to discretionary expenses. Okay, but the idea here is you will need to give priority to fixed expenses, which is more important. Okay, and let's look at the tools that we use for managing our cash flow. This is, of course, you are familiar with. It's the tool called budget. Okay, in the budget, there will be two components as usual in the cash flow, where you need to first identify your income, the source of income. Okay, if you can see, after the income, we will actually deduct 10% saving. So this is a way for us to train our financial behavior, where we do saving before our expenses. Okay, before you spend your money. Okay, because based on our what do you call, normal behavior, we will tend to spend until the last cent, and we don't have much of saving left. Yeah. So in AKPK, we are encouraging you to use budgeting. And first, you need to pay yourself 10% saving. Okay. Then only you manage the remainings, things like your fixed expenses, your variable expenses. So if you can see in this example, okay, we also make a column for actual expenses to compare the budget that we have made. So this is also a way for us to keep track of our expenses. Okay, and from there you will need to identify, okay, why in the planning that you are actually making a surplus of 155, but at the end you actually did not what do you call, create a surplus, but there is a deficit coming in your cash flow where you are actually short of 145. Okay, the idea of this budgeting is to keep track, and also for us to learn from the mistake that we have made. You can actually check, identify where are the expenses that you actually spend more than what you have actually planned. Okay, and from there you will do better in future. Yeah, so in a way that financial behavior, okay, usually we can't actually tell you you should do this, you should not do this. Yeah, it's only through experience. You need to go through yourself, especially the budgeting part. Okay, then you can actually know what is the problem that coming from the planning that you have made, and from there you move on, yeah, with a better planning in the months down the road. Yeah, then you will slowly train out your financial behavior. Yeah, especially when you have hard time to save money. Yeah, usually when we are talking about saving, yeah, that will be more on what they call on paper, and we need to save money, we need to keep, and you are quite good in doing the planning for it. Yeah, maybe you have actually put out a azam to want to keep money, want to save your money for every month, 100 ringgit, but at the end it just doesn't what do you call, achieve. Yeah, so you need to make some go through some process in order to correct your behavior. Okay, So let me give you this example. Okay, we have 4 person here. Okay, Anne, Adrian, Tia, and also Fashrin. Okay, all these individuals are having different income. As you can see, Anne earn about 5K, Adrian earn 3K, Atia 2.5, and Fashrin earn 3K. Okay, but look at their cash flow analysis. Yeah, at the top part you will see actually Anne can having excess of 410. Okay, Adrian is having deficit of 200, and of course Atia, okay, having deficit, okay, excess of 300 in Fashrin. Okay, usually you will say perhaps their income is not big, so they could not have any excess in their cash flow. But do take my advice. We do have a clients, okay, having big income, yeah, big take-home pay or their salary is quite high, and yet they are having deficit in their cash flow. Okay, meaning to say their money that they earn every month is not enough for them to spend, especially when come to paying their loans. So we can take from this real life example that we share here. Okay, having a high income doesn't mean you will not have a problem in your cash, or you will have negative or deficit in your cash flow. Okay, you will not have. Yeah, eventually it will goes to the management, or how you manage your money. Okay, and how you actually budget your money, and how good are you to follow your budget. Then you will be actually defined as a person who are prudent in terms of your finances. Yeah, as you can see this Adrian. Yeah, Adrian is having 3,000 income. With all the expenses that he has actually allocated, yeah, he's still having a deficit. What they call cash flow 215. Yeah, tak cukup duit dia. Yeah, so from there we will need to look into the possibility, like maybe he has actually allocated in certain expenses more than that he's supposed to be. Yeah, um, like in the case of Fazrin, yeah, Fazrin earned 3K, and yet he can manage to have excess of 310, the last one. Okay, so how come the person earning the same 3,000, and yet he can have excess? And it's not like the case in Adrian, where he's having a deficit 215, negative lah, negative 215. Yeah, so I'm sure now you learn from the lesson from this story that we share here. Okay, it will be the matter of how you manage your expenses. Yeah, how you actually arrange your payment. Okay, if let's say you are earning that much, you should not spend that much. Yeah, so that would be the conclusion that we can make. Yeah, so if you earn that much, you should only spend that much. All right, I hope you take that as my advice. Okay, and more saving tips here for you. Okay, number one, save before you spend. Okay, this is what we share here in our budget, that we always ask you to pay yourself. You pay yourself 10% first, then you spend the remaining. Okay, number two, there is saving. And this, I believe the habit of saving is when you started from small saving. Yeah, so small saving means every day you keep 2 ringgit, 3 ringgit, 5 ringgit, depends on you. Yeah, it doesn't matter, you can only save 2 ringgit or 3 ringgit. Yeah, but of course what we say here, sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi bukit lah. Yeah, so when you started, make it a challenge. When you started at 2 ringgit per day, okay, and slowly on weekly basis, you can actually increase your saving. Yeah, from 2 ringgit per day, now you can move on to 4 ringgit. Yeah, so and when you are comfortable of saving 4 ringgit per day, and then eventually next month you can start saving of 8 ringgit per day. Yeah, so from there you will slowly make the challenge, I will call it a hard challenge, become an easier one. And then eventually you will think this is just a norm for you, a normal habit that you should have. Okay, and make a saving as your habit. Okay, and the third tips, okay, color of interest. Usually we will keep the color that we like, yeah, so that you can actually keep it instead of always spending it. Okay, and the last tip, of course, will be on the coins. Okay, sometimes the coins actually can actually achieve your big dream as well. All right. Next, move on. Yeah, we are going to the second part or second element, what you call aspect in our financial planning. Okay, borrowing basis. Okay, I'm sure soon you will be graduating. Yeah, when you graduate, and of course, there might be a possibility that you plan ahead to buy your asset. Yeah, maybe your first asset, which is a car. Okay, and you might be going to do some investment. Okay, and the bank might promoting to you. You can actually use the financing to assist you in your investment. Okay, perhaps you can actually get loan from the bank to invest in SB. Yeah, so when we talk about borrowing basis, we need to make ourselves clear that we know the rules of borrowings. Okay, then only you call yourself a what they call a borrower who actually responsible. Okay, the first basics that we sharing here is for productivity, productive purpose only. Meaning to say, you will need to ask yourself, if you are making a loan, what is the purpose that you are making that loan? Okay, and how you relate that loan to your financial planning or to your financial goal. Okay, for example, okay, now you are making your first housing loan. Okay, so your first housing loan, because you know house is an important asset where you need to have a house, okay, in your net worth, so that as your resident, okay, maybe number two, you are looking for the value of the house will increase, okay, and you are looking for something that actually can assist to increase the value of your asset. Okay, and most likely that reason would be encourage you to proceed. Okay, if you are making a loan, for example, because the bank are making a good marketing on it, and you are thinking to get that loan because your friend is making it, yeah, so this is not really a productive reason there. Okay, number two, within your means, you need to know whether you have the affordability to pay the loans. Okay, we share the rules of borrowings through the calculation of what they call debt to income ratio. Okay, in the next slide, all right. Then you will have a better understanding on affordability. Again, and lastly, you must have the moral commitment, yeah, to pay back the loans. Yeah, as a borrower, okay, you need to know when you're supposed to pay, okay, and how much the amount that you're supposed to pay. Okay, and of course, we also encourage you to have a financial plan. If you want to become a financial, what they call a borrower, okay, you must have a planning in terms of your finances, so that you can turn the loans or liability into a asset that can actually benefit your net worth. Okay, and the three rules of basic borrowings. Okay, remember, it always asks for your productivity, your productive reason, and secondly, on your affordability, and lastly, whether you have the moral of paying back the loans. Okay, so when you talk about debt to income ratio, this is one of the important ratio for financial planning, where we can actually understand whether we are able to pay a loan or not. Okay, I'm sure you as a graduate, you should know how to do this calculation, so that you know how much you can actually pay a loan if you think of getting one. For example, After you graduate, you are thinking to having the first asset, important asset. Maybe you are thinking to have a car, okay? But what type of car you are looking into, okay? So we want you to use this debt to income ratio to make sure you understand and you buy the right car, okay? So what is this debt to income ratio? Okay, the rules of debt to income ratio says you should have this ratio not more than 40%. Okay, for example, Encik Ali, Mr. Ali, okay, having a take-home pay, a monthly net pay as 4,135. Okay, and he is having a housing loan, a car loan, and a credit cards to pay every month, amounting 1,935. So monthly, Mr. Ali will need to pay all his loan at 1,935 ringgit. Okay, so try to do that in a calculation, okay, as in the formula. Okay, 1,935 divided by 4,135 times 100%. So you will get 47%. So again, back to the rules of this debt to income ratio. Okay, we are suggesting the ratio shall not be more than 40%. So if Encik Ali is having 47% in his debt to income ratio, meaning to say he has actually used up his what they call ability to pay loan, yeah, actually exceeding, yeah, his affordability to pay a loan. Okay, so what we actually trying to encourage you, yeah, to have a ratio not more than 40%. Okay, so put it in a simple way of explanation. If you are drawing an income of 1,000, you can only pay a loan not more than 400 ringgit. So that would be better for you to understand. So if you are earning 2,000, okay, you should pay the loans, or you can opt to pay loans not more than 40%, which is not more than 800 ringgit per month. Okay, so that's the rules for us to know whether you are able to pay a loan. Yeah, so let's make it into an example. So now you are drawing an income of 2,000 and you're thinking to get a car loan. Okay, so make sure this is the only loan that you have, okay, currently, and you are looking for a car with an installment of not more than 800 ringgit. What is the consequences if you are buying a car with an installment of 1,000 ringgit? I'm sure you know, yeah, if you're having 1,000 ringgit installment over the income of 2,000, so your debt to income ratio has become 50%. So you're actually paying more than your affordability. So this should be a no-no, yeah? So always remember your debt to income ratio should not be more than 40%, okay? And when you having the first loan, okay, so you might be thinking of getting another loan, for example, yeah. So if you are thinking to buy a house, so this could be your second loan in your life, okay. But you are actually paying 40% from your income towards your car loan. And now you are thinking to buy a house, but your debt to income ratio has been used up to 40%. So this actually indirectly tell you, or the conclusion to you is, you cannot afford to have a second loan or to have this housing loan. Yeah. So you need to clear off the loan. Okay. Or when your income increase, then you might have some what they call allowance there, so that to keep the ratio within 40%. All right. So always remember debt to income ratio. It's a way for us to measure our affordability to pay a loan. Okay. All right. Let's continue, move on. This is what we have just discussed. Borrowing basics on buying a car. Okay, I'm sure you have your dream car, okay, in mind. Okay, as you can see in the picture here. Okay, well, all these are actually luxury cars. Okay, and of course the prices of this car is more expensive. Well, compared to this car, okay, maybe you can more to relate it to your affordability. Okay, what we want you to know is how much does it cost to have a car or to make a loan or financing to buy a car. Okay, for example, okay, the car that you are looking now is at the cost of 50,000 ringgit, selling at 50,000 ringgit. Okay, and you need to pay a down payment of 10% in order to get the loan approved. Yeah, because the financing, the margin of the financing given by the bank is only to the maximum of 90%. 90% means you can only get the financing of 45,000. Okay, as you can see, HP loan at 45,000. Yeah, because the margin that allow you to loan is 90%, so you can only get at 45,000. Okay, and the 5,000 of down payment is, of course, it has to be from cash money from you. All right, and you get a package from the bank. Okay, the bank are actually giving you this financing package at 3.5% per year. Okay, and in car loan, usually we will call this as a flat rate calculation. Okay, or the flat rate of 3.5. The meaning of flat rate calculation is the bank will charge the total financing, okay, on yearly basis based on the original financing amount. So if you get 50,000 or 45,000, yeah, 45,000 multiplied by 3.5%, and how many years that you are financing? 5 years. So the calculation will go to the second part. Okay, as you can see on the left, the purple part, total interest that you are paying for this loan would be the total financing amount 45,000 multiply with 3.5 and multiply with 5. Okay, because of 5 years loan. So the 7,875 that you are looking at it's the total interest that you're supposed to pay under this financing. Okay, so if you add on to the amount that you borrow, which is 45,000, 52,875 is the total loan amount, or what you call the balance that you owe to the bank, including interest. Okay, so now you actually take the full balance of 52,875, divide with 60 months, 5 years loan. So you get the monthly installment amount, which is 881. Okay, so meaning to say you are required to pay 52,875 using a 60-month installment at 881 per month. Okay, so if you multiply 881 times 60, you will get 52,875. So meaning to say you have cleared off this loan, including the interest under this financing. So this is actually a typical car loan, yeah, in Malaysia that you are actually, you can sort it from the bank, okay? So the things that we can actually conclude here, okay? The longer that you loan, of course, the bigger the total interest you will be paying, okay? But the longer the loan, okay, the lower the monthly amount that you will be paying, yeah? Because once you take the total loan amount, including interest, divide by a longer term, you will pay a lower installment. So when can you actually ask to pay a lower installment? Okay, if you are only able to pay the amount of 40% from your monthly income. Okay, so if you take calculation of 40% of your total income per month, okay, you get the amount of 880 ringgit, meaning to say you fulfill the loans to get a 5 years car loans. Okay, but if your calculation of 40% from your monthly income, okay, come to a 500 ringgit only. So meaning to say, if you ask for a 5 years repayment bank loan, the bank will reject it, yeah, because of the money installment is higher than what you call your monthly affordability. Okay, so when you are making a choice or selection of car loan, okay, try to relate it to the interest that you need to pay and also the affordability of your cash flow to pay. Okay, usually in most of the case, we will need to understand, okay, affordability is more important, because if you don't, if you're not, you don't have enough cash flow to pay your car loan, okay, you should go for a longer repayment. Yeah, but when you go for a longer repayment, you must know, okay, the longer the tenure, the bigger the interest. Yeah, so end up the total financing will actually bring out some what you call you need to pay a big sum of interest to this loan. Okay, so there is not only cost that you need to consider on the money installment. You will need to look into the actual cost of financing a car. Okay, we've actually list down the things that you need to pay. Okay, look at number one, the installment that we have calculated just now, 881. Number two, you need to pay for the insurance as well. Okay, for a new car, you need to get a comprehensive loan, comprehensive insurance package. Yeah, which you might need to pay around 1,000 or 2,000 per year. Okay, and if you divide with 12 months, it will bring you to 135. Okay, so that's consider your monthly expenses on insurance, and the road tax as well. Okay, per year you might need to pay around 90 ringgit. Okay, the higher cc of the car, the higher the road tax will be. Okay, and you need petrol to run the car. Per month you need to pay around 250. And then the servicing of the and maintenance of the car, and plus the parking of the car. Okay, this is just an estimation. Okay, so you can easily need to budget yourself for this car at 1,514 ringgit. It's not cheap actually. Yeah, to have a car. Okay, and you need to budget yourself for the expenses on it, things like your petrol. Okay, so eventually to own a car is actually not just paying the loan, paying the installment. Okay, you need to consider all other costs involved. Okay, usually if you ask for our opinion, okay, the expenses incurred would be double of the installment that you paid. Yeah, for example, if your car loan installment is about 800, you need at least 1,006. Yeah, to run the car. Yeah, with petrol and including the servicings. So you see, look at this example. The calculations actually prove the principle is right. When you are paying 881 ringgit for the car loan, okay, you actually need 1,514 ringgit for the overall cost in both. Yeah. So if you are paying a car loan at 1,000, eventually your cash flow would be 2,000 for the car expenses, including the petrol and the maintenance. Okay, so this is a very good tips for you. Yeah, if you have decided to make a big purchase of your car. Yeah, maybe you are thinking this car is good, and it's paying at 1,500 per month. Remember, the expenses could be another 1,500 as well. So per month, you need to have a cash flow of 3,000 goes to your car. So this is the requirement if you are thinking of getting this car. Okay. All right, next. We go for investment. Okay. So this is the third element that we will discuss about financial planning. Okay. And when you start to have saving, it's time for you to plan ahead. Yeah. So how do you actually make investment? Okay, I'm sure younger people like you will always ask Google. Okay, so I've actually Googled for you. Okay, if you have $1 million, what would you do with it? Okay, so this is something that I have just Googled for you. Okay, what can I do with $1 million? So what Google say? Okay, is actually suggested. Okay, the answer is actually from what have people contribute to Google. Okay, so I'm sure this is like what they call people's choice. Okay, so people would rather start to use the money to invest in a guaranteed income. Yeah, to start out with guaranteed income means you can actually keep the money in a more conservative instrument, such as put the money in the bank for saving. Yeah, in FD, fixed deposit. Which will guarantee your income. Okay, to put something that is actually safe lah. Yeah, safe. Of course, the return is not that attractive, but at least it's guaranteed. Yeah, they give you some protection there. Okay. And number two, people will actually invest to pay off their debts. Okay, by hutang. Yeah. So this is people's choice. Okay. When you have money, okay, you will need to pay off your debt first. Okay. The third one, boost your emergency fund. Okay. And the fourth one is donate to charity. Okay. So I'm sure this is good, especially if you want to be closer to your God. Yeah. You need to make donations. Yes, sedekah. Yeah. If you can see number one, number two, and until number four, it's more to ourselves. Okay. Yeah, people tend to invest because they want security. Yeah, they want security, meaning to say they want to be freedom in their finances. Yeah, this is a very good example here. Yeah, people will actually protect themselves first. Yeah, so this is a very good choice lah. Yeah, if you looking for the reason of investment, why do you need to invest? Because you want to protect yourself. Yeah, protect yourself, like boost your emergency fund. Emergency fund means if you are out of job, yeah, because of some incidents, some accidents, yeah, how you can actually survive, yeah, financially, how you can actually make your living, what do you call, expenses meet, yeah, okay. So you can consider all this number four, okay. And the fifth one, okay, it says try P2P lending, peer-to-peer lending. Yeah, this is kind of a new investment that coming up. You can actually Google on it. Yeah, one of the very what we call common peer-to-peer lending here today in Malaysia is a funding society. You can actually invest them. Yeah, so this company will actually make lending to other people. So when they pay their lending, okay, they you will earn some interest from there. Yeah, and next, invest in bonds. Okay, bonds is considered sijil hutang lah. It's like a debt. Yeah, you can actually invest in bonds. Yeah, if you want something that we call it more secure. Yeah, what we call more stable in terms of the returns. Okay, invest in mutual funds. Okay, mutual fund in bahasa we call it unit amanah. Okay, for example, ASB. Yeah, ASB is under this category. Okay, so what do you call this? And mutual fund is actually a fund that managed by special people. Yeah, we call it fund manager. The fund manager will manage the money that you invest to them to a different type of markets. Yeah, when there's they are actually using diversification. When they invest in different markets, the return will be optimized. Okay, so when they get optimized returns, you will get the returns from there. So it's considered safe, or with a different class of risk. Okay, track your retirement. So people invest money because they want a good retirement. Yeah, so this is from Google. Okay, so in KPK, what we actually suggest, you must invest your money because of these three reasons. Okay, number one, protect yourself from inflation. Okay, what do you mean by inflation? Okay, what happened to inflation? It will cause the things more expensive because the buying power that you have is lower now, yeah, in view of the time factor. For example, now you are buying your bread at 2 ringgit 50 cents. So because of inflation, after several years, the cost of the bread could be 5 ringgit. So if you calculate, the rate of inflation could be up to 10% or even 20%. Okay, so different things might have a different inflation rates. Yeah, things that actually getting more expensive because they are having a higher inflation rate. And what the factors that influence the inflation rate, of course, is the demand and the supply of the item of the goods. Yeah, so things that actually more demand, of course, the inflation could be higher. Okay, so you need to protect your money. Yeah, because when you keep your money at home, for example, you are keeping yourself this 20,000, maybe you got it from Durian Runtuh. Yeah, you got 20,000. So you keep it at home and you're not earning any interest from there because at home, you're just keeping it safe for yourself. Okay. So after 10 years, when you take out the money, okay, maybe from under your bed, okay, that 20,000 can buy lesser things now because things are getting more expensive. Okay. So if instead of putting the money under your bed, okay, you put the 20,000 in the bank or in an instrument, for example, investment, yeah, a legal investment that has actually projected a return of maybe 10%. Yeah, they actually project it 10% return per year. So at least your 20,000 of 10 years of with them will grow and now come with a returns. Maybe they give you up to 10% as what they have projected. So the money that you withdraw from the investment is more than 20,000 because of the returns. So now you are actually protecting yourself from inflation. So after the 10 years, you buy the things because you got more money and you actually you are trying to better with the inflation rate, or you try to cover the inflation rate. Okay, so that is why we need to invest. Increase your income. All right, when you invest, you're actually creating second source of income, or what we call, remember what we have learned just now in cash flow, you are creating a passive income. Okay, and lastly, you invest because of inspiration. Okay, inspiration, yeah, life inspiration. Okay, and these are the example of investment that we have actually give it to you as example. What you need to know is if the potential returns is high, the risk for the investment, of course, it's high as well. Okay, as the example of high risk investment, okay, as you can see, the stock market, all right, they give you a potential return of 10 to 20%, but the risk involved would be up to aggressive. Yeah, meaning to say chances you lost the money is there, is high. Okay, so if you want something in between, okay, for example, you are trying to protect your wealth, you don't want your money to lose, okay, you should look for something in the middle. Yeah, for example, unit trust. Okay, all right, but usually the rule says don't put your eggs in one basket, so you need to diversify your investment. Some you put the expense, your money, your investment in the bond or in a cash deposits investment. Okay, and number two, some part of your money goes to the unit trust, and maybe if you're a high risk taker, you can go to the stock as well. Yeah, usually when you have what they call fixed income. All right, what all the investment that you're trying to make, be aware of scam, financial scam. Okay, we have so many articles here, as you can see. All right, a lot of university students are what they call get involved in this scam. Okay, of course, with the money actually cheated. Yeah, we want you to avoid. Okay, be aware of all these financial scam. Okay, that can actually take away your money. Yeah, if you can see 1, 2, 3, I want your attention on number 3. Okay, illegal taking of deposit. Okay, usually the scam offer you a double return. They can actually asking you to maybe they ask you to pinjam your account, yeah, and for the transfer of money to your account. Okay, please do not do so, as this may involve illegal taking of deposit, and at the end your account will be frozen and your case might be under investigation. So eventually you might involve some criminal case as from there. Okay, always be vigilant. Yeah, be alert of all financial fraud. Okay, you can actually make your checking through Bank Negara or Security Commission, as you can see in the slide. All right, and lastly, I would like to go on the topic of debt management. So debt management has actually become one of the challenged by many individuals, okay, before they can actually plan their finances. Because if they don't manage their debts well, eventually they cannot plan ahead for their investment. Because when you talk about investment, you need a lot of saving, you need some surplus every month. But when you are not able to manage your debts, you are actually running out of your cash flow. You couldn't actually produce a surplus in your monthly expenses. So how can you actually make an investment? Yeah, so you need to do what they call planning on your debts. Okay, then only you can do the rest. Okay, as you can see, the cost of indebtedness of a person usually because of the lifestyle. Yeah, some people they earn this much, but they spend more than their affordability. Okay, circumstances, it could be the situation where you are not aware of what they call the importance of keeping emergency fund. So when something happen, you are actually in out of control of your money. Okay, and especially time pandemic. Okay, people are actually losing their job. Okay, so when they're not they don't have actually a preparation before, they don't actually keep their emergency fund, they don't have any means to pay their cost of living, they don't have any means to pay their debts. So that is what we call you need to prevent, yeah, before that thing comes. So to establish your emergency fund before the things happen. Okay, we do have what they call people that unable to manage your debt because of lack of awareness. Okay, and also what they call greed, yeah, attracted to scheme cepat kaya, right? And you can see bankruptcy action, or what they call this could happen to a person who failed to manage their debts. Yeah, sekiranya you tak bayar hutang, of course, eventually the bank will have to proceed with what they call judgment and obtain a court order. Yeah, and this is a process where the debtors is declared bankrupt. Yeah, after the judgment from the High Court obtained. With the circumstances that you are unable to pay a loan amounting to 100,000 and more. Okay, all right. So what happened if let's say you are a bankrupt? Okay, this is a statistic, yeah, to shows bankruptcy by age. Okay, as you can see, 25 to 35 years old in this range, that form 25% of the bankruptcies, the statistic. And the high, what they call, person are actually from the range of 35 to 45 years old. Yeah, 35%. This is a big portion from this statistic. Yeah, and usually the reason would be at the age of 35, people are having more loans. Yeah, they're having higher commitments. That's why the what they call the risk is there if you are having more loans. Okay. All right. What caused a bankruptcy? Okay, in Malaysia, the statistics shows people borrow loans from the bank, and that eventually caused them bankrupt. Yeah, and what kind of loans that actually cause them bankrupt? Yeah, usually personal loan, because personal loan easy to get. Yeah, usually the amount is quite big. So eventually they defaulted and the bank have to proceed with bankruptcy. And the second one, hire purchase, the car loan. And this is also what I call the story of a car loan, where people are not able to serve the car loan. Eventually the bank proceed to repossession, and eventually the property, the asset has been sold off, but the deficit amount of the balance caused them being sued by the bank. Okay. All right, this is just awareness for you. Okay, if you are not managing your debts well, you might end up the judgment to the bank might proceed with the judgment of the case, and eventually you might be affected in terms of making your financial planning. Okay, as a conclusion for today, all right, we have actually covered a few topics: cash flow, basic of borrowings, and eventually we discuss also on debt management, All right. As a conclusion for today's session, okay, I would like to draw your attention. Okay, number one, our advice to you is have a budget. The budget intend to track your inflow and outflow. So this is a way for us to know our affordability. And number two, is like a roadmap for us to manage our cash flow, to make sense of our money, and eventually to create a surplus. Okay. Number two, we want you to have a saving habit. From the beginning, the cash flow analysis, and to the second part where we discuss more on cash flow. Okay, we want you to create a saving habits in you, yeah, and make it 10 to 30% from your monthly income that you have. Yeah, soon when you get a job, you need to start with 10% saving, and later when you are more familiar with your cash flow, maybe you can increase to 20% saving per month. Okay, and always be ready to set up your emergency and retirement fund. Okay, and third conclusion, credit history, you make sure if you are making a loans, remember to pay your loans accordingly to avoid secret CITOS recording, which could be what they call referencing to the bank. Eventually, if you want to get further loan from the bank, because of your secret record or your CITOS might affecting your chances of getting loan. Okay, and keep it good. Yeah, pay your PTPTN loans. Okay, your PTPTN is your commitment. Yeah, it could be your first commitment. So make sure you have the arrangement. You make the arrangement to pay back. Okay, so that your credit history will be good, and later when you need to make a new loan, it will be easier for you. Okay, number four, debt to income ratio. Okay, remember 40% of your net income is the maximum commitment that you can pay your loan. Okay, so meaning to say, if you are actually getting a job with income of 1,500 ringgit per month, for example, and you are thinking to get a motorcycle loan, so make sure the repayment of the motorcycle loan is not exceeding 40% of your monthly income. Okay, that's for example. And number five, appropriate credit. Match the credit with purpose. Remember, we said productive reason. You must have a productive reason, then only you make your decision to borrow. Yeah. So when you borrow, you usually borrow from the bank. Okay, and make sure you consult the bank. What are the criteria of this loan? Okay, do you really qualified to get the loan? Yeah, work something that to do with the debt to income ratio. The bankers know about it, and you should understand from the banker what is your debt to income ratio. Yeah, okay, are you aware? Are you very far from your debt income? What they call the ratio? Okay, or do you still have the allowance to have it? Okay, so all these are the things that you need to discuss with the bankers. Okay, and number six, balanced lifetime. Of course, we want you to have a balanced lifetime so that you don't worry much on your money, don't worry much on your expenses. All this could be very stressed out and eventually create some what they call stress to your life. Okay. All right. Last question from AKPK. Which one do you want? On the left, it says you have a moderate but peaceful life without debts. And on the right, rich with debts and have miserable life. So which one you want? Yeah, you want a moderate but peaceful life because you don't have any debts, or number two, you want a rich. You are actually rich with debts, yeah, kaya dengan hutang, then of course having a miserable life, unhappy life. Yeah, so of course most our destination will be a moderate but peaceful life. Okay, and let's begin now. Okay, it's not about how much you get, but how much we manage. Remember the story that I share with you. It's not about how much you're getting your income, okay? It's about how you manage your cash flow, all right? And we do have this QR code for you to scan, yeah, for your feedback, okay? As we have come to the end of this session, okay, I also posted this a link in the chat box, okay? I would appreciate your feedback. What you need to do is click on the link, fill out the event number, okay? And there's few questions that ask. I appreciate your feedback from there. Okay, if you have actually gained benefit from the talk, please do so. Okay, feedback to us. Okay, and let's come to our session of Q&A. All right, I stop sharing.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Yo, for a very enlightening and informative session. I'm sure everyone has found all the information that you shared very, very useful, especially for their future when they go out to work and they want to plan for their finances and manage their finances well to achieve their financial goals. I don't see any questions in the chat room so far, but perhaps for the benefit of everyone, may I just ask one question? It's on a topic that an area where you have not touched on. Just now you talk about what do you call this, car loan, taking a car loan. So now we want to talk about the property loan, housing loan. For those who have worked for a few years, they may be interested to purchase, to buy a house, to own a house. But then the prices of property is quite expensive nowadays, right? So what is your advice on this? How would you advise somebody who has just started out working and would like to own a house? Thank you.
Okay, thank you to our moderator. Yes, buying properties is always an important decision to make. Yeah, because as we compare this property loans or housing loan with car loan, especially, yeah, car loan it would be the longest tenure of 9 years, whereby housing loan it could be up to 20 years or even it could be up to 30 years. So it involves a longer repayment period. Of course, the commitment that we need to give if we are we committed to a housing loan would be longer. Yeah, it could be what do you call involve the whole of our life, yeah, entire life, which is about 30 years of paying a loan. So I mean, as a students, now we are planning ahead for our buying our property. Okay, you need to be aware of the if you remember the three basics borrowing that we shared before. Okay, being number one, there must be a productive reason. Okay, so if you are buying a house for a good reason, because that will be the only asset for you and your family, yeah, okay, so the reason is there, and that's if you are putting that as part of your financial goal, the motivation will create from there, where you will by hope by crook serve the loan, because you are actually having that asset as yourself and even for your family, yeah. And the motivation actually will train our behavior in terms of paying the loans in a more disciplined ways. So that is why we say if you're having a good productive reason, you will actually make effort to it. Yeah. When you are actually having the productive reason, okay, the chances are what you call when you are trying to make yourself to into the cash flow analysis to make sure you allocate money to pay the housing loan, yeah, the chances for you to default the housing loan is lesser, or meaning to say you will put effort in paying that, yeah. So eventually that will become an asset that really give benefits to you. All right. So that is the rules that number one that we are saying. Rules number two, you must be having the affordability to pay. Yeah, remember the ratio of debt to income ratio that we share. Okay, you are paying your loan at 40% of your money income. Okay, if you don't have that 40%, or you already used up the 40%, so that doesn't actually give you a green light to proceed to get a housing loan. Yeah, especially if you are still serving your PTPTN, you're still paying for your car loan, and maybe you have some personal loan that has not been clear. So that would be part of your financial planning. You need to clear off all this loan. Then when your loans paying, you're paying of your percentage of paying loans has been reducing. Okay, you might have some allowance there for you to actually to put a housing loan in your cash flow now. Then the reason for you to proceed is there. I mean, you should be able to serve the loan, and of course the decision to get a housing loan will be from the debt to income ratio. If you are having that ratio, or you are still within that 40%, so that will actually signing you that you can actually proceed to have the housing loan. And thirdly, the basic of borrowing would be on the moral, where the commitment of continuing making effort to pay the loans. Okay, the discipline of having what they call prompt payment. Okay, is a must as a borrower. Yeah, not only on housing loan. If you're having your other loans, such as your maybe your SB loan, or you are having a credit cards. Yeah, all this require what you call this a good financial behavior, where discipline is still the first thing that you must look into. Yeah, so if you're having all these three criteria, okay, the decision to buy a house should be what you call more or less the encourage you to proceed to get the housing loan. Yeah, but of course the property market, there has so many choices. Okay, apart from the financial consideration that you need to make, is from the non-financial factors that might actually you need to consider. Things like where is the location of the house. Okay, and number two would be type of the properties that you are that is more suitable for you. Yeah, some people that prefer a high rise, some people that prefer a landed properties. So for example, if you are a person who like gardening, yeah, you most likely you cannot go for high rise because you cannot do much of gardening works. Yeah, so these are the factors that you need to consider as well. Yeah, this is what we call non-financial factors. Okay, so apart from the location that I mentioned, type of the properties, and also type of the loans that you are getting. Whether the loan give you some flexibility to pay more, to pay less. So these are the factors that to be considered as well. Yeah, if you need further guidelines on when you are about to get this what do you call loans, you should actually refer to AKPK, yeah, where we have our financial advisors. We can actually assist you in making what do you call, we give you guidance, yeah, in term when you are supposed to get loan. Yeah, we give you some actually guidelines in term when you are making loans with the bank. So what are the things that you need to be prepared to yourself. Or we do have our financial books called Power, yeah, POWER. This Power book is our module. It's a step-by-step modules that actually assist you in different type of loan, like housing loan, car loan, yeah, and also debt management. Yeah, so if you are interested, please log into our website www.akpk.org.my, where you can get all the information about financial information from there.
Thank you, Yo, for that very comprehensive answer. There is a question in the chat room. It says, some people are most likely to take personal loans, but what are the necessaries to take personal loans? I'm not very sure what it means here, but the question says, what are the necessaries to take personal loans? I suppose, what are the reasons somebody needs to take personal loans? The purpose, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with our moderator, Madam Margaret. So the question would be on what the reason that make us to make for us to consider personal loans. Yeah, usually personal loan, it would be served as a way to assist us in getting a fund. to serve a purpose, such as usually this is what the bank are serving lah, yeah, to do renovation for your house, yeah, for the purpose on to buying things, buying maybe expensive things, and also personal loan to serve as an emergency purpose, yeah. But in AKPK, we will suggest you to consider getting personal loan only when you're aware of the three basic rules that we have shared just now. Yeah. So if you are taking back the three basic rules, number one, what is the productive reason behind if you are getting personal loan? Yeah, to help you for that reason. Yeah. Let's take example, emergency. Yeah, emergency, it should be something that you need to plan before the things happen. Yeah. So if you're having a good cash flow, you will have a surplus every month, and you are actually building up your emergency fund. So the purpose of it is to cater the needs when something happened, something crop up. Yeah. So when something happened, you need that funds, you can use it. Yeah. It's only when you did not plan it properly, or you don't have a good cash flow analysis, you are not ready for any emergency, so you might be thinking of personal loan as a solution. But bear in mind, personal loan, there is what they call the things that you should be aware of. Yeah, personal loan are mainly unsecured loan. Unsecured loan means there is no collateral required by the bank, so you can actually make a loan, okay, by using your credit records and your income proof for the bank to assess, and eventually they will decide how much to give you. Yeah, but usually personal loan is required, we call it as a high risk loan. Yeah, high risk in the sense that the interest, the compounding effect is quite high, and where the interest could be very high, ranging from 10% to 20% of the financing. Eventually, the longer you make the loan, the interest that accumulate would be high. Yeah, so eventually you are paying an expensive loan to serve the meanings of the purpose that you want. For example, if you're using personal loan to do renovation of the house, so eventually the cost of renovation is not that the money that you borrow, but eventually it would be with the interest that you are paying, and it could be double, yeah, because of the compounding effect. So you must recognize that personal loan is expensive, yeah, and eventually the longer you pay for the personal loan, the more money that you need to pay off. Yeah, so you need to compare. At the end, the renovation would only cost you 10,000, but because of you using the personal loan, you are paying 20,000 for it. Yeah, so do some comparison from there. Yeah, we are not here to say you should not take personal loan for that purpose. Yeah, what we are here to assist you as a guideline, to help you to compare, to make the right decision based on what you actually plan for it in terms of your finances. Okay, all right. I think.
Thank you, Yo. There's another question in the chat room.
All right.
Where can we get help if we are in trouble with debt? Well, you're at the right place now today. Where can we get help if we are in trouble?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I think this is a very good question. Yeah, where can we get help if we are actually having debts that is unmanageable? Yeah, we always encourage people to think of 4A. Yeah, 4A, meaning to say when you are actually having problem in your debts, think of 4A. So what is this formula of 4A? The first A means you need to, of course, in bahasa is akui. You need to recognize that you are having that problem. Yeah, you don't be in the sense of denial. Yeah, so A means akui, you recognize that you are having problem, you know that you are having the problem, and now you should look for the solution. Yeah, of course, the second A would be on what they call you need to ask. Yeah, ask what you should do now. Yeah, you can actually ask the bank, okay, what can you do if you're having problem to pay back the debts? Yeah, so that's the second A. You ask. Yeah, you ask the bank, how can you assist me if I cannot pay this debt? Yeah, please do not run away from the bank. Yeah, the bank are there to assist you. So if they call and ask for payment, yeah, you need to discuss and you need to ask them if there is any assistance that can give to me. Yeah, so that is the second A that we are referring. Yeah, and of course the third. Sorry, this is the third A. The second A is analyze. You need to analyze, okay, your cash flow, and of course, to know whether the level of your debtness, yeah, maybe there might be a room for you to improve, yeah, you what do you call, you reduce your expenses so that you can pay your debts, yeah, accordingly, yeah. And the third A that I'm saying just now would be ask, yeah, where you can actually ask the bank to help you. And of course the last A is AKPK, so you need to get assistance from AKPK. If you have tried all this, yeah, you have tried to analyze, you have tried to ask the bank, but the bank also cannot assist you. And of course, you are here to look for the solution. Yeah, you know that you are having that problem, then you look for AKPK. Yeah, for your information, AKPK is actually nested in Bank Negara Malaysia. For our office in Kuching, we are actually located inside Bank Negara Malaysia. But for your information, during PKP, during MCO, Bank Negara actually still closed to public. Yeah, but our operation is still what do you call? We are still in operation internally. Okay, so customer would like to get a KPK assistant can contact us via our website. Yeah, go to our online website. There is a QR code for you to scan. And once you scan the QR code, you will be directed to type of service that you need, whether you need financial counseling, whether you need to apply, whether you need to know your secrets, okay? With the selection that you made, okay, the QR code will actually generate a report for our financial advisor to call you back. Yeah, so it's very convenient. So you don't have to come to our office. What you need to do is to drop by at our website, scan the QR code, yeah, and then select the service that you require, and eventually our staff will be in contact with you. Yeah, so it's quite easy. So you don't have to come to our office in Kuching. Yeah, you just need to visit our website. Let me repeat the website: www.akpk.org.my. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Yo. I think it's now close to 3:30 p.m. We will have to close the session very soon. But before that, we would like everyone to switch on their cameras because we need to take a photo session, photo session. Can everyone switch on their cameras, please, for a group photo? Is that okay, Nurul? For the photo?
Yes. Please hold on. Okay, look at the camera. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next stage. Hold on now. Okay. Look at the camera, please. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The next stage. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And
Thank you, everyone.
Before we leave, I would like to actually promote the MASA Facebook page. Please like and follow the Institute of Management Sarawak Facebook page for more information and for the upcoming webinar sessions. Okay, please like the FB page for Institute of Management Sarawak. And another thing from AKPK is that we have these online learning portals, online learning modules, which are free of charge for anyone who's interested to learn more about financial management. So you can go to www.power.akpk.org.my to access all our online learning modules and select which module you're interested to follow. It's all free of charge. And we would like you to please select Kuching branch, because when you register for the online modules, you will be asked which branch has recommended you for this online module. So please select Kuching branch, okay? So with that, I would like to say thank you so much to everyone for attending. I think this has been a very good session. And thank you once more to Institute of Management Sarawak for making this possible. Thank you so much. Goodbye and all the best in your future career, all the best in your studies. We hope that you all graduate with flying colors. Thank you.
Tersergam indah megah, menjadi kebanggaan kita, bukti wawasan dicita, maklumat dan pengetahuan, penuh terhimpun harta ilmu untuk kita terokan. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak, wadah ilmu untuk semua, bersama kita manfaatkannya. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak, berteknologi dan berusaha, berkhidmat ikhlas untuk kita. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak. Tersergam indah megah, menjadi kebanggaan kita, bukti wawasan dicita, maklumat dan pengetahuan, penuh terhimpun harta ilmu untuk kita taruhkan. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak, wadah ilmu untuk semua, bersama kita manfaatkannya. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak, berteknologi dan berusaha, berkhidmat ikhlas untuk kita. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak. Dipenuhi aktiviti, sentiasa dikunjungi semua berbagai bilang bangsa. Pustaka Negeri Sarawak, wadah